Hey guys, and welcome back to another fanfic video. The name is Spirit Ghost Man. Ooh! Today we'll be reading parts 3 and 4 of the American Dragon Jake-long fanfic I made. Let's get started. A fan in cartoon crossover universes. Chapter 9, American Dragon Jake Long, Part 3. I said, she's a pony. I know another Pinkie Pie who is a human. Continuing from the phrase I said at the end of chapter 9, part 2, I think. Then I said, I'm getting off topic. So to answer your question, Haley, my name is Colin Spencer Kirby, but my hero name is Colin Spirit Kirby. The mother said, nice to meet you. I'm Susan, and this is my husband, Mr. Long. I said, nice to meet you, Mr. Long. Mr. Long said, good to meet you, young lad. Would you like to have dinner with us? I said, sure, I'm starving. We had Chinese food for dinner. After dinner, I set up my inflatable bed with sheets in the guest room, which was next to Jake's room. I went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up and got dressed. I went to the bathroom to look at myself in the mirror and saw myself as a dragon. I screamed so loud that Susan Long heard me. Ah! So she ran to the bathroom. After I calmed down, I changed back to my normal hybrid/human self. The family told me that I was part dragon on top of my ghost powers, demon powers, and omnitrix power vest too. I asked, how did this happen? Jake said it could be when Dr. Animo made you and I his experiments. After our talk, Susan Long asked me, Spirit Kirby, will you please take the kids to school? So I took the kids to school, like I was told to. But before we left, I used my new omnitrix to dial up my Autobot alien and transform into the alien mode. Jake asked, what vehicle are you going to transform into? When we were outside, I transformed into my Ford pickup truck mode. I dropped off Haley at her school, after I dropped off Jake. But Jake said, why don't you join me in school? Jake got out of my truck mode, and I said, is it clear out there? Jake said yes, and I transformed back to my robot mode and timed out. When we walked in, I signed up for school and other stuff. After that, I met two of Jake's best friends, Trixie Carter and Spud. I said, nice to meet you. I'm Colin Spencer Kirby. And then I whispered, but my hero name is Spirit Kirby, to be continued in part 4. A fan in crossover cartoon universes, Chapter 9, American Dragon Jake Long, Part 4. Spud said, cool. Trixie said, hey, Mr. Kirby, can you help Jake with a bully problem? I asked. Jake, you have a bully problem? Who is he? Jake said, yes, I have a bully problem, and his name is Brad Morton, he said, pointing to a kid wearing a brown jacket and white t-shirt. I walked over and said, "Hey, you. You must be Brad, right?" Brad said, "Who wants to know?" I said, "I do, and I hear that you've been picking on my new friend, Jake Long." He said, "What are you going to do about it?" I said, "This. What's that over there?" The bully looked behind him and back and said, "There's nothing there, and where'd you go?" I was intangible, so I took over Brad's body and made him do an embarrassing dance. Everyone in the school laughed at the sight of the boy's embarrassment. After we went to our classes, after school, Jake and I went to the school parking lot and waited for the lot to clear from people. When no people were around, I turned on my omnitrix and dialed up my Cybertronian alien. "Come on, Cyberbot," I said, but instead I became Zoom, aka Accelerate. I said, Omnitrix, I was going for Cyberbot, but Zoom is fine." Then I said, "Hop on and hold on tight." Jake put on his helmet and I zipped off to Haley's school. When I got there, Haley hopped onto Jake's lap. When we got to the house, they got off my back and I timed out and went inside. Ba-na. When it came close to dinner time, I watched Haley use her dragon claws to slice some potatoes. I was impressed and not scared. Of course, I was brave. At dinner time, we were eating meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. After dinner, I volunteered to help Susan Long with the dishes. Afterwards, I asked, out of curiosity, "Are you just asking, except for Mr. Long, dragons?" Susan said yes, but it skipped a generation for me, and yes, the kids and their grandpa are dragons. I said, "Cool, and nice claws, Haley." Haley just smiled and said, "Thank you." I sang, "What can I say except you're welcome?" After our talk, I went to the guest room to work on some dimensional phones. I heard a knock on the door. Sorry, let's try again. I heard a knock on my door, and it opened. It was Haley. Haley asked, "What you working on?" I said, "I'm making dimensional phones for you and your family members." She said, "Cool, and when will they be ready?" I said, "In 3 days." After Haley left the room, I went to sleep. The next day, I woke up and said, "Another day for action, excitement, and I love the smell of dragon in the morning." I went downstairs to eat breakfast. After breakfast, I checked to see what day it was on the calendar, and it was Saturday. 1 hour later, Jake and Haley woke up. Haley said, "Good morning, Mr. Spirit Kirby." Jake said, "You were up early, and how'd you sleep?" I said, "Good morning, you two, and yes, I did sleep well." At 9 a.m., Jake and I went to the thrift shop to meet Grandpa Long. Grandpa Long said, "Would you like to train with me?" I said yes. We trained for about an hour. After we trained, I met Foo Dog. I was quite surprised that he could talk, by the way. So, yeah, Foo Dog said, Hey kid, would you like to go shopping? I said, one, I'm not a kid, and second, I would love to go shopping. Food Dog and I went to the subway to get on a train. When we were on the train, it went down like an elevator. Ding! Then the doors to the train car opened. We got off the train and walked to the magic market. Food Dog said, go buy whatever you want. Dude, I counted my bits, aka gold coins, from my earnings from working on the apple farm with Applejack from the My Little Pony world. I have 100 bits, which should be enough for something cool. Not sure what, but I'm keeping it. I was walking, minding my own business. Then all of a sudden, my ghost sense went off. I put my bits back into my bag. I closed it, hid behind a stand, and transformed into my ghost form. Then I walked to the source of the danger. I bumped into Adagio Dazzle again on accident. Oof! I said, ma'am, I'm sorry about running into you. Adagio said, it's all right. Accidents happen. I got up from the floor instantly, recognizing her voice, and growled at her. Food Dog came by and said, ooh, who are these three lovely ladies? Arya and Sonata joined Adagio. Arya said, who are you? I said, I'm Spirit Kirby, the one who helped Sunset Shimmer and her friends defeat you back in Canterlot High School. Sonata said, you're the one Adagio was hitting on in the arcade in Metropolis. Last time she saw you, Adagio said, have you been, cutie? I said, what happened to Evil Spectre Kirby? Adagio said, he's not my type, but you caught my eye. Wink, wink. After our talk, we went home. I had dinner and went to bed. To be continued in Chapter 10. Kim Possible. Beep, 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 beep. And that is all for today, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Spirit Ghost Man, flying away. Ooh.